portfolio with the viewers today. But before I do that, since I'll be analyzing a portfolio for the purpose of long-term investments, I just want to clarify what I would like to see technically in a stock before I decide on filtering or selecting the stock with the idea of investing in it. So whenever Yes, so whenever we are planning on making a long-term investment, one of the things that we want is we want a clearly uptrending chart. It's not necessary, it's not the only way of trading, it's not the only way of approaching the market, but the rules need to be defined in order to clearly define your in order to clearly define the the chart structure that you're going to be approaching. So out of choice, or after a careful study and assessment of multiple securities, um, we have sort of made a consensus of trading securities which are generally moving upwards and making a decision of entering into them during some kind of a pullback. So here, for example, we have the chart of a pretty bullish security which is clear from multiple higher lows, and generally it has been profitable for a long-term investor to buy into one of the dips and hold on to the stock. Um, so there are several examples of this. Either a security should be trending, or there should be a clear sign of a potential uptrend. For example, here another security generally moving upwards. It has been rewarding to buy into any corrective phases in the security in the past, so we'll continue with that approach. So the exchanges are filled with securities of such types. They run in hundreds, and so here we can see another security which has been generally moving upwards in a range for a 3-year range has been broken out, and a new all-time high has been created with a clear sign of perhaps trending upwards strongly in the future. So the point being that the exchanges have hundreds of such securities, and generally when we want to make an investment, we want to look into accumulating into one of these securities based on the overall situation of the index. So keeping this context in mind, let's just quickly have a look at the current portfolio for evaluation. So this is the portfolio. As we can see, it has approximately 29-30 entries and is worth approximately 1.5 million. I've just done a little bit of an assessment and aligned them in terms of weightage, and I can see that significant. Oh, fair enough. So we can see that approximately 10 stocks constitute, 11 stocks constitute 80% of the portfolio, and the remaining means you could see 18 stocks are constituting only 20% of the portfolio. So we'll focus on these 10 critically that are constituting the 80% of the portfolio, and so let's have a look. The first stock is Vakrange. So we just simply place this here in the chart. Alright, so we dealt with examples of uptrending securities, and it is very clear that this is not an uptrending security. So there is the only reason why someone will want to hold on to the stock is because there is an opportunity to trade. We don't want to be betting against a multi-year trend, and we will bet that the security or the growth story of the security is over. And if at all there have to be revamps in the fundamental such that the security does recover, it could take some time, and maybe we are in the right time, but I don't know. So the general plan has to be to exit here. So the plan has to be to exit the security, and the levels at which we would run. So obviously the low of the week, that's 25.35. So SL. So 25 is a justified SL, and of course this high of 40 is a reasonable place to exit. So profit. So yeah. These are so yeah. So the general plan for Vakrange has to be to exit, and we can see that the person here has bought it at 30 rupees, so there is a possibility that there is a 25% upside, if at all we can get to around somewhere here. So yeah, we would like to exit Bukrange. The second stock is IOC. Okay, so once again, this is not an uptrend. So what we have is we have a short-term range in play here, and because this is not an uptrend, like I said, there's only a tactical opportunity at best in such securities. So we also want to exit this from a long-term holding, and definitely exit below the break of this range, because we can see that here currently IOC is trading in this range. So I'll just make this dark for some visuals. Okay, one can take a bet that the range is going to break. If that happens, means we can easily try to take a target for about 113, and that's justified. So definitely one can take a bet if the range breaks to hold on. But if the range doesn't break, an individual must leave around 82, this level right here. This need not be dark, and we don't have any justification to stay below the low after a breakout has happened. So yeah, so 81 is for sure an SL. Next one. So I hope you're getting the idea so far as to how we are just using technical analysis to make a quick assessment of the um, overall portfolio. Next one is Bajaj Finance. Okay, so the security looks like it's forming a lower top. After an extended move, we are seeing a deep corrective action. So somewhat like a double bottom here, but it's not really too applicable. We do not know what's happening. This is definitely a lower bottom compared to this one. So here we have a lower top, and I guess the plan here is also to exit Bajaj Finance. I think one could exit this even now, but if sometimes the market could react till, so we just simply have to select, just to get an idea. You can just select here, and you have 3714 as the next Fibonacci retracement level. So just extend this here. So we're getting around 3700 as the next resistance. It's currently at 3300. So I feel that it is reasonably safe to plan an exit for 3000. And of course, the immediate target for this one should be 3700, and also there's a possibility of 4200, but I think 3700 is a reasonable place to go. So we will exit this, and we will need to keep an SL of 3050 and target maybe 3700. Yeah. Next one is SAIL. Okay, this is also not an uptrending stock. We don't want to be a part of this. It's forming a lower top here. I would want to leave this stock right away. There could be a possible divergence after this bearish engulfing, which is not being confirmed, but fair enough. And we are seeing this huge gap along this side actually. So SAIL is definitely an exit. It could be even exit at current levels, but if an individual really it's an exit, but if someone really wants to play it out, you could keep an SL of 30. It's a deep SL. I'm not too comfortable with it, but definitely a target of 41. The next one is West Coast Paper. I can see from the end. Another not uptrending stock, possibility of a lower top. And here we have a bearish candle, so it's very simple for us. We will exit this here at 165 for sure. 165, and yeah, so the upside, okay, we can keep the upside open because it has actually broken out of a range, and there is a problem. I mean, the only reason why we are exiting is because it's coming back into the range, and the lower side of the range is right up to 100, so it could be very painful to see that. So I think, yeah, we can keep this open above 165. We can keep this one open, but also if someone has to book, then definitely the 214, which is the previous, is quite a reasonable target. So I don't think so I'll write this here, but definitely I think that's a reasonable target. ITC. Okay, another stock. It did uptrend, and we are seeing that the uptrend formed a range, and now this range has given a W pattern break. It's one of those extremely boring stocks to have in your portfolio. I think it is better to leave this one too. And if an individual wants to play, so basically we are seeing obviously that there is a W pattern break here from 190 to 130. Wow. So actually ITC can be played on the upside for a target of 250, but it needs to have an SL right here. So I'll just make this dotted so that we can see this. Maybe perhaps I'll just have this in blue. So yeah, so ITC with SL is an exit with an SL 180 and with a target of 248. Yeah. Next one. PC Jewelers. Okay, I think this sounds bad. Need not be assessed, but okay. See, this is by definition a stock that means a serious investor cannot have this in their long-term portfolio. You can't have this. So there's obviously a trading bet here, and if there is a trading bet here, okay, it's been in the news. We have a lower top. Okay, so yeah, it's obviously an exit here at 13 and a half. And if I bottom fished, then I don't want to exit this also. So I'll just keep an SL and leave the upside open for now. But yeah, PC Jewelers is not decent. Dana Bank, DCB, Development Credit Bank. Again, not an uptrend, but okay, it's right at the range low. But see, the problem is that while it is at a range low, it has huge upsides. So it also has a clearly defined downside. So therefore, there cannot be a reason actually to hold this below 68. Your entry price for this one is 83, which is almost now. I think we can exit this actually. Why should we play a range when there are tons of bullish trending securities? That's the question. So since you're almost break even here, I think we'll just exit this. Entry is 83. Yeah, next one. JSW Steel. I think this one is okay, but just see because the metals have been rallying. So another security, this is forming a lower top. You could be in all sorts of trouble, so you want to be trading this pretty tight. Again, after this bearish engulfing, it's there could be some sort of a divergence here. It's forming a trend line. I mean, if you see, if you connect this on shorter time frames, you're going to get a very steep trend line right here. I think the break of this trend line should be taken quite seriously. So maybe around maybe this level. But it's a large cap company, so I don't mind holding this actually. So SL, so it's also an exit, but maybe an SL here, and and yeah, the upside target. I mean, it's very tricky, but I think definitely this was a resistance point right around here. So I think 250 is a reasonable upside target for this one. Okay. Muthoot Finance is a good stock. It's definitely something you should be holding, and it's a beautiful stock. It's a beautiful stock. You don't want to be selling this. You always want to be holding this. It's formed a new top. Do you want to buy it just now? Maybe not. When you want to take a decision, you just simply set up a moving average. You see this green line, this blue line, buy it somewhere in between this. So we see the 50 DMA at 786. If Muthoot comes down to that level, we want to add. And for now, since we are holding it, we'll hold this. Yeah, of course, we need to keep an SL in mind. I don't think so. Okay, I mean, it's given a pattern break here below 770, but since we're looking to accumulate at around 780, so there will not be an SL. We look to re-enter the stock. Therefore, there is no SL at the moment. HDFC Life. I think, sorry. Ah, hmm. It's a new stock, IPO kinds, pretty much at the double top. This is at the time when the market was at its all-time high. I will, I'll exit this actually. I'll bet that this is going to continue to range. Yeah, I'll exit this stock and I'll only look at it maybe perhaps when it comes back to this level. But for now, I'll not bet that the all-time high is breaking. So I'll exit this with the previous week low as the stop loss. So and if the target has to be taken, it has to be 645. So we're just simply saying that it's not going to create a new all-time high. I think, and yeah, we have done this. So of the majors, maybe I'll just analyze one more. It has 4% weightage. Aztec, I don't know what this is. Aztec, there's quite a bit. There's Aztec Industries, Aztec Life Sciences. Wow. So this is bought at 985 and it's at 1045. I think we are at the correct Aztec only because it was at 1045 till yesterday. So clear breakout, it's a perma hold. Yeah. Okay, just tempted to see alkalamine. Please spell this. Okay, hold. DMart is a hold. I know it for a fact. So this is also an uptrending security. We see a double top, but it's okay. We'll bet that this range is holding. So DMart is also hold. I don't know what this is. I think this is, so I'll just avoid it for now. Manappuram is, I think Muthoot Finance takes the cake there. Manappuram has the potential of becoming a Muthoot Finance, but I'll trail this actually. Yes, should I bet that it'll break? It can break. It actually can. And I feel 160 is the wrong SL. I think it should be more like here. Right, just here. So I think 148 is a better SL for this. Yeah, 148 is a better SL. It's possible it can trend because it was an M pattern. So it's possible that this one can trend. So I think we can hold this actually. Granules is a hold. You can see this right here. Granules. Granules is a bullish stock. I'll just show you the chart. Yes, beautiful, beautiful chart. So it's, of course, it's a hold. And I'm not writing anything here because we're going to add PI Industries as a hold. It's another uptrending stock, so we are going to hold this one. But unfortunately, we are getting into the 1% category. So I guess we'll leave it at that. So yeah, overall, not a bad portfolio when I see it in detail. It's just that the ones which are clearly trending have the lesser weightage. The hold stocks are accounting for just 19%, whereas the exit stocks are accounting for 74%. So hopefully this helps, and hopefully this helps you in planning your portfolio. I'll be mailing you this Excel sheet along with the link to this video. Have a good week. Cheers.